Welcome, I'm Ian Bidstrup from Spinal Vet Australia. I'm delighted to be finally delivering a series of short videos on saddle fitting and saddle related pain. I'm a veterinarian who's worked with horses' back pain for over 30 years now, and saddles are an integral part of dealing with back pain. So I hope you enjoy this next episode of the series on saddles and saddle related pain. Today we're going to go over the points of the Western saddle and talk a little bit about the construction of the Western saddles. At the front of the saddle we have the horn, which in roping saddles is more solid and is set a little bit lower down, so it's not going to torque so much when the rope pulls against the saddle. In a cutting saddle like this one, it's more used as something to hang on to. It's to help stabilize the rider when the horse moves around very fast. So its structure is really important as far as the horse goes. This part here of the front of the saddle is called the swell, and this part further back is called the fork, and the fork actually stabilizes the front of the saddle, and underneath the fork is the gullet, like there is in an English saddle. And this gullet clearance is really important to make sure that the wither is not impacted by either the structure under the seat or through this region here. This is the side jockey and this is the rear jockey of the saddle. These leather flaps, they protect the rider's leg from the fender, which is again another leather protector for the leg, and these are the stirrup leathers that are behind the fender. Down here we have the rigging. This is where the girth attaches, and there's various ways that's done. And you can see in the front we've got two forms of rigging compared to the back. This is the rear cinch rigging and this is the front cinch rigging. Through the saddle seat. The saddle seat in Western saddles varies according to how much room the rider wants to move around. If it's a cutting horse, you might want to be able to move around a lot with the horse, but stabilize yourself with the horn. In some saddle seats they rise a lot more to the front and leave the rider right in the back. Some are more central. So it depends on the rider's leg and the leg position that is wanted, and the type of riding, whether it's more upright or a little bit more of a chair seat, is how the seat will be constructed. The structure under the seat in synthetic type trees, plastic type trees, is molded plastic material. In a lot of the Western saddles it's actually a metal seat base, and then it's built from there. And the metal seat base, like the molded plastic, holds the sides of the saddle together. The sides of the saddle, and we'll turn it over shortly, are called the bars, and they start right here at this front conker and go right in this saddle to the back one. And you can see the outline of the bar here, and it comes around. How the bar comes in is called the twist, and that twist varies to suit different riders' body shape. So with the bars themselves, the shape of those will vary with the tree shape itself. The bars in some saddles are really straight through and very flat through underneath and come out very flat. Ideally, in most situations, the bars come up and come away from the horse with some flare. So they actually come away here, and at the back they also come away from the back, so they're not straight flat through the length of the saddle. If they are straight through, this front part of the bar can dig into the shoulders of the horse, and if there's a little bit of a rise into the loin, this can dig in. The bars at the back can dig into the loin itself and make the horse uncomfortable. So the bars need to be shaped according to the actual horse that it's going on. We don't want them too long, but we don't want them too short either. Short bars are usually used in Arabian type Western saddles, short rear jockeys and short skirts are usually seen in barrel racing Western saddles, where you want less in the way of what's happening with the back leg. And for that matter, the skirt shouldn't get in the way of the tubercoxy or the hip bone at all. And that's largely about the construction of the skirt, but also the thickness of the pad that's going to go under it. If we go under the saddle, most of the undersides of Western saddles are lined with a wool lining, a lining that has got a little bit of give, but we're really relying on the pad to give most of the actual cushioning effect under the saddle. This is the base of the seat here. With the underside of the saddle, with the bars themselves and the junction of the bars and the leather over the top, the skirts, this area should actually be blocked, what they call blocked in, so it makes the bars quite prominent as compared to being just all one and part of the underside of the saddle. If it's not well blocked, then the saddles tend to move around a lot. This, by blocking the actual bars of the saddle, it gives a better contact and a more secure contact with the saddle, and you don't have to cinch up or girth up the saddle as tightly. So it's an important issue in that regard. The other thing we should be checking with a check for a Western saddle is what's going under it. Ideally, it's going to be a wool felt in most cases, and very often 20 mil thick is going to be what we want. So when it comes down to a 20 mil pad, it's very important that it's shaped at the front for the horse, so it's not going to cut into the wither. Be wary of some pads that filled with rubber in between a bit of fabric or felt, that can be quite a firm interface and doesn't mold to the horse very well at all. The wool felt is beautiful in that it tends to mold nicely to the horses. That's why wool felt's been used in hospitals for so long for orthotics and the likes. With the wool felt, be wary that the synthetic felt does not work anywhere near as well as pure wool, as in sheep's wool, it would seem. So just be wary of that. Always go for sheep's wool. It seems to be considerably more comfortable for the horse than the synthetic version. Thanks for watching. I look forward to you joining me for the next in this series on saddle fitting.